Ich, der große General der deutschen Soldaten, sende diesen Brief an das Volk der Herero. Die Hereros sind nicht mehr deutsche Untertanen. Das Volk der Herero muss jedoch das Land verlassen. Wenn das Volk dies nicht tut, so werde ich es mit dem Grotrohr dazu zwingen. Innerhalb der deutschen Grenze wird jeder Herero mit und ohne Gewehr, mit oder ohne Vieh erschossen. Ich nehme keine Weiber und Kinder mehr auf. Treibe sie zu ihrem Volke zurück oder lasse auf sie schießen. Dies sind meine Worte an das Volk der Hereros, der große General des mächtigen deutschen Kaisers. 2. Oktober 1904.
Berlin, 1884. 16 colonial powers gather at 77 Wilhelmstrasse for the Berlin Conference. Its purpose? To carve up the continent of Africa amongst themselves. It becomes known as the Scramble for Africa. Germany acquires 4 territories on the continent: modern-day Togo, Cameroon, Tanzania, and Namibia. The new colonists aggressively expand, forming the cities of Lüderitz, Swakopmund, and Windhoek. Eventually, after 20 years of German expansion, and after witnessing the loss of the most fertile land for grazing cattle, the Herero tribe rose in rebellion. What happened next has often been referred to as the first genocide of the 20th century. On the 2nd of October 1904, General Lothar von Trotha issues his Extermination Order. All the Hereros and Namas that survived the battles are driven into the desert. Those that survive the desert are put in concentration camps, the first of their kind. The most infamous of all these camps was Shark Island. 2/3 of those who entered never left. The remains of thousands of those who died were decapitated and had their heads shipped to Germany for research. By 1908, 100,000 Hereros and Nama lay dead, and Germany gained total control of the territory. But German control was to last just until the outbreak of the First World War in 1914, when South Africa, under a British mandate, invaded and occupied the territory. South Africa instituted its racist apartheid system, which continued for the next 70 years until Namibia finally got independence in 1990.
I'm Israel Kaunachike. I'm born in Namibia, in Okahanja, the Herero city. And I left my country in 1964 when I was 17. I joined the liberation movement of Namibia to fight for independence. I'm a Herero. Everywhere were colonialism in the whole of Africa, but nobody, there were no extermination order to finish one nation. So the Hereros, they lost about 80% of the Hereros and 50% of the Namas of 905. It means 100,000 people, maybe more, were killed or died through this extermination order. In the camps, there were, people were dying because of hunger, cold. It was very cold, especially the Atlantic Ocean, Lüderitz. And they were also raping the women. Land, they robbed the land. They take the land, they take their cattle. They have nothing, even, everything was taken away from the Hereros, especially the Hereros. And that's why today we are in power. We're living in poverty, the Hereros and the Namas. The land is not there. Well, under South African rule, it was the continuity of the system. I myself, I'm born in apartheid in 1947. So it was how they introduced the apartheid system in Namibia. Between apartheid it means divide and rule between the white and black and other colors. When the South Africans came, they did the same thing, but they stopped the Germans to expand. They say, no, we have to have some land too. So the South African Boers, they also took the land, some from the Germans too, and they had the same strategy. the same strategy, take the land and take away from the Africans and from the Namibians. Whether you are Herero, Nama or Damara, we didn't have the chance to have our own land. We were living in so-called Bantustan. So Bantustan is like reservaten, we used to say in Afrikaans, reservat. 65 to 70% of the farmland, the best, is in the hands of the Germans. And the Boers, they are also involved in, but the Germans have they occupied more land than the Boers, or the white South Africans or whatever. So we want our land back, to bring our people back from South Africa, from Botswana, from Angola, to go there and to live there where they were, used to live, or that their parents used to live. This is our political demands today. Fighting colonialism. In those days, can you imagine 904, fighting against this imperial Germany, and we're still fighting now, but politically we are still fighting. What we want today, in the first place, we want apology, recognition, and reparation for all what the extermination, the cause of the extermination. Apology, recognition, and reparation. I'm the only Herero, and I'm the only Herero speaker, the Herero voice in Germany. I'm the Herero voice in Germany. And I'll keep fight till we win. It's like this, the Germans generally, they are trying to forget everything, even their own history, even the East-West. I'm living in Germany. Even their own history here. If you see all the monuments, they were all, after the unification of Germany, they took all these monuments of Lenin or what, and later they recollected them again and put them somewhere. So this is typical German, to forget, not to forget, and maybe it's Alzheimer, I don't know. Especially the way they deny, or the way they are, the recognition. It takes very, very long to with this. They are playing with us actually. And if you see, there are no monuments here in Berlin, especially monuments over this extermination or this slavery or colonialism in the whole of Germany. There is nothing like that. We are in Köln, the so-called Garnison Friedhof. Garnison Friedhof, call it Friedhof Cemetery. They are buried many soldiers who died or passed, who were killed in the Second World War. This memorial is actually it's a scandal, but this memorial is commemorating the Schust, or the protective soldiers who were fighting against the Hereros and Namas in Namibia. So this is for us is respectless. And that's why we were fighting for our own memorial stone, which is a little bit lower than the German stone. These are the so-called heroes who fought in Namibia from 904 to 907. They were the butchers of the Hereros and Namas. You see up there on the right side, you see this hut. This is the hut of the Schutztruppen. These are real, they are symbolic. They had this funny hat, so they, to recognize them, they were the soldiers of the Schutztruppen. They painted new. It means they meet all the time here once a year. During they call it Volkstrauertag. So they are always here every year. But we didn't want to confront them, because otherwise it will be troublesome. The Namibian plaque is it's a quote, it's a quote from the Humboldt. You know Humboldt? He said, nur wer die Vergangenheit kennt, hat eine Zukunft. This is a quote from of Wilhelm von Humboldt. It has nothing to do with us. This is a white man who are, they are quoting this white man, but they ignored our proposals. We will write the inscription, the colonial war against the Hereros and Namas, the genocide, especially the genocide, and the numbers of those who were victimized by the Germans. It's about 100,000 Hereros and Namas who were killed by the German troops. So this is what I want here. It has to do with racism, because we're from Africa, and those who were killed, especially Holocaust or the Sindis, they were also victims. But in Namibia or Southwest Africa, it was the first 20th century genocide. But still, we don't have memorial stones of against the, for example, slavery, colonialism. We're still fighting to get all these kinds of memorial. But it has to do with color. Because we are not Europeans, so we don't have a lobby. So how should it be remembered? What we want is, of course, a memorial stone, a big one, so that everyone can see, but not this heightened, this small plate here, lying here down. We want a real stone representing us to see what happened in Namibia or Southwest Africa those days, from 1884 to 1915. So we want to see this memorial stone here, especially here in Neukölln. And the second thing is a big memorial for the whole of Africa in Berlin Mitte or somewhere, maybe in front of the Humboldt Forum. It's all possible. And I dedicated myself to this cause, to finish this course, to finish this struggle one day. And if I'm not here, somebody else will take it over and continue. So I'm very motivated, and I'm very optimistic. And I think we are nearly finished. We will nearly finish with the government here.